Good morning, good evening, good night, whenever you guys are watching this channel. I made a video earlier, I had to delete it. I thought Craig Melvin was Don Lemon. One of my subscribers, they corrected me, they kind of laughed, you know, they do look alike. But anyway, I'm gonna revise this video, and so this is not Don Lemon, this is Craig Melvin. But after the interview, I think he figured out he made a big mistake. He underestimated how smart this girl really is. If you look at this interview, he's got a laptop computer, he's scrolling, he's Googling stuff. And Candace is coming off this stuff off the top of her head. The girl is brilliant. You got to give her that. You know, she's a very intelligent young lady. So let's watch a little bit of this together. They probably end up removing this video, but I can't find it nowhere else. But let's watch some of it together.
Dictator and Trump supporter Candace Owens tweeted this week, quote, "I'm calling it now. The black community, which has been politically irrelevant for decades, will become the most politically relevant voting group by 2020. Our awakening is finally happening." Candace Owens, author of that tweet, joins me now. She's also the communications director for Turning USA. It's a conservative nonprofit organization. Explain the tweet. And how can you say that black voters have been politically irrelevant for decades?
Right. So politically irrelevant because if you consistently vote for just one party, then you're not going to see people competing for your votes. And that's what we have seen happen. So I feel that on the Republican side, they weren't doing anything because they saw it as a monolith and they weren't trying to win over black voters. On the Democratic side, they were able to present us with a bunch of broken promises, if you will.
They want your vote, and then the day after the election, they're gone. That's the Democrats. And I said, all these bad numbers, what the hell do you have to lose? Then I went off stage, and my people told me, I don't know, that's not nice. I said, no, it's true. It's true. What do they have to lose?
We are seeing a huge difference, a huge shift. A bunch of black people popping up on YouTube and on social media and hashtags saying that they are walking away from the Democratic Party. It's something that hasn't gotten much airtime on liberal networks, and it should, because it's very real. And you can see that just by some of the polls that have been done that show that black people are starting to support Donald Trump.
Polls
like the fact that he has the most support, black support, since, I believe, Richard Nixon. And that's a very big deal.
Where's that poll from?
That's I want to get the exact website. I'm going to have to look it up for you, but it's a poll. That's an exact poll.
Because there have been a number of these polls, and I'm using air quotes because a number of these polls are not actually polls. They're opt-in surveys.
Right.
But in terms of, I mean, there've always been black Republicans. This isn't some sort of new phenomenon. Are you asserting that all of a sudden there are millions of new black Donald Trump supporters that we didn't know anything about before?
They weren't Trump supporters to begin with, but we're seeing a shift, a major shift happen, and black supporters are leaving the left and going over to the right. You need but pay attention to the underground movement. And look, you are correct to say that just because a poll says something, it isn't right. The polls told us that Hillary Clinton was going to win, and she didn't, right? But I wasn't fooled by the polls. I thought that Hillary Clinton was going to lose. In the same way that I am also saying that I believe that black voters are going to exit the left completely by 2020.
But you didn't vote for Donald Trump, to be clear.
I did not, because I was sick. I was in bed for 6 months and I was unable to vote.
What are you looking for in the next Supreme Court justice?
Look, I'm not looking for anything in particular. Somebody that will uphold the Constitution. Of course, I think that's super important. I don't think that we should stress out until he makes a pick, and then we can talk about the different, qualifications. But I think that right now there's mass hysteria over the fact that he gets to pick somebody in the same way that Obama got to pick two people. I don't understand what everybody.
Well, I think a lot of folks are annoyed by the third person that the president did not get to pick, Merrick Garland, who didn't get a hearing. But going back,
he did get two picks.
Yeah, well, yes,
okay,
that's correct. Litmus test, Roe v. Wade. We were just talking about that a few minutes ago. Do you think there should be a litmus test with regards to Roe v. Wade?
No, I think that even the fact that we are discussing Roe v. Wade is a typical leftist tactic to get people, it's fear mongering, to get everybody all upset and up in arms and think that something is going to be overturned so that they boycott. We shouldn't be talking about it whatsoever. We should be talking about the qualifications of the person that is going in.
We shouldn't be having a conversation about Roe v. Wade.
No, I think that the fact
because it's settled law, or
no, we should not be having a conversation about Roe v. Wade before the president makes a pick picked for SCOTUS. It's a way for the left to fearmonger, which is what they always do. They want people to be scared as if somehow all of their rights are going to be violated because Donald Trump gets a Supreme Court pick, and that's just not true.
But it's not just people on the left who are doing this fear-mongering. There are people who are, no.
It definitely is.
I have friends and talk to lots of people who aren't, on the left, and there are people who are legitimately concerned about the next Supreme Court justice being able to upend some 45 years of settled law in this country. And you're saying you don't...
Name your friends, please.
Well, I don't think,
CNN?
No, well, I think right. You and I both know that wouldn't necessarily be my friend. But, to say that the entire left or the entire right is doing something, I don't know. First of all, it can't be accurate. You know that's not accurate.
It's
that's
100% accurate. It's not hyperbole is what's going on right now. Hyperbole is this idea that every time Donald Trump does something, there's going to be an Armageddon. It's the so many people on the left have grown apathetic toward the Democrats because you guys, I don't mean to say you guys, I shouldn't, insinuate that you're a part of that.
Check this out. Watch his face after Candace say you're a part of that. Just watch how his face fall. It's like, he was pissed off.
But because what we see in the leftist media so much is every single week you're outraged over something else. He gets a Supreme Court pick. You have to move on from that, let him pick somebody, and then we can start to talk about things. But this fear-mongering has to stop completely. There has to be more rational dialogue and thought here.
So there's been no fear-mongering on other sides of the political spectrum.
If you have a point you'd like to make,
no, I'm just saying the president from time to time.
No, I do not recall while Obama was in office for 2 terms, every single day waking up thinking that the world was going to end, to answer your question.
I vividly recall being at a number of town hall meetings after Obamacare had been launched and people showing up with automatic weapons, people claiming that they wanted to take their country back. So to say that all of a sudden there's the left is up in arms. The right was up in arms for a while as well. You would concede.
How about Obamacare? Yes, that's
all about the president in general, about the fact that he wasn't born in this country, that he was a secret Muslim. There are fringes.
Are you suggesting that there has been this much outrage? The outrage that we are seeing towards every single thing that Donald Trump does, that his daughter does, that his family does, was the same thing that we experienced when Obama was in office?
I can't speak for everyone.
That's a question. I'm asking you to objectively say, right, that you think that there was this much outrage when Obama was in office.
The beauty about doing what I do for a living is that I get to ask the questions.
Right.
I don't necessarily have to answer.
I'll take that as an answer.
No, it's not an answer.
I think that is one.
One of the things that a lot of folks have been up in arms about, specifically here, Scott Pruitt, VP Administrator. You are quite familiar, I'm sure, with a number of his scandals, some alleged, some confirmed, 15 current investigations as it relates to Scott Pruitt, spending and management practices. I think we've got a partial list we can put up on the screen here, a partial list of his scandals. This is Scott Pruitt, of course, former Attorney General there in Oklahoma, and we've tried to condense it to one screen here. And there continues to be this story about trying to secure a used mattress as well from a Trump Tower hotel. Do you think that Scott Pruitt should remain EPA chief?
I think that I should remain focused on things that matter. This is not going to impact midterms. It's not going to impact Trump for support. It's a sidebar and something that has gotten way too much coverage with all of the things that are going on right now in the nation.
No, wait a minute. But you can appreciate how a president who vowed to drain the swamp might receive some legitimate criticism from journalists and just the citizenry at large.
Absolutely, I can appreciate that, but I don't have to add to the dialogue. I don't have to pretend that this is something that is a pressing issue that we need to discuss 24 hours wall-to-wall coverage on any network, and I choose not to. I choose to pay attention to the crack that is happening in the Democratic Party and the major shift that is happening, and I choose to be at the forefront of it.
Candace Owens, there are lots of voices in this country, and we like to give all voices an opportunity to be heard here, so I thank you for coming by.
I like you, Craig. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Candace Owens. You're welcome to come back.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being civil.
Yeah, of course.
I've read some of your tweets. All of your tweets are not civil, Candace Owens.
Sometimes we punch back.
Hey, what she telling? Sometimes we punch back. But anyway, thanks for watching this video and subscribe to my channel.